Okay class, now the next topic is flow of control in this chapter. So flow of control, that means how can we control the flow of execution of the statements in a program. There are three things which we have discussed earlier in our earlier chapter, that is flow of control. So here I am going to give you a brief introduction about it. So first is known as sequence, second is selection, and third one is repetition. Sequence is just a simple statement, single or compound statements, where you have to write the single statement, like print statement. You are getting the assignment statements, expressions you are giving. So these kinds of statements are known as single statement or the compound statements if you are creating the block of those two statements only. So next one is selection. Selection is based on the decision making statements only, like if else, if elif, nested if. These statements we are including in the selection, which gives us output result as true or false boolean values, either true or false only. So these kinds of structures we have discussed earlier. Now the third one is repetition. Repetition is known as iterative statements. Iterative statements, that means loop, where we are including two types of loops here, while and for loop, where we require repetition execution of the statements again and again. So here we have to use the concept of loop only to solve any problem or in any program which is required by the programmer. So there are concepts of the flow of control. Now the next phase which is coming, that is known as coding. Coding is a phase where the actual programming has to be done. We are doing coding in high level languages. Basically we have three kinds of languages, that is high level language, middle level language, and low level language. Once we have decided the algorithm, once it would be finished over there, so we have to attempt for creating our program using any kind of language which is comfortable to you. Nowadays we are using the high level language. Some examples of high level languages are like Fortran, C, C++, C Sharp, Python, Java. These kinds of programming language we are using nowadays, which is very convenient to the programmer. Earlier we were using the low level language, that is LLL, which was very tough for the programmer and for the user to understand only. So only we are using in that particular language the binary code language, or we can say the zeros and ones form language, which is very hard to understand. So after that we were using middle level language. Middle level language is that particular language in which we were using assembly language, in which mnemonics we were using over there. Like if we want to add two numbers, so we have to pass some instructions over there, like first we have to store the numbers or the input on the registers with the instruction of store, then load, then if we want to do add, so mnemonics add, we have to just pass in the instruction, then finally output would be stored on another register, on the same register which is required by the programmer. So these kinds of examples we were including in the assembly language, which is not so hard as compared to low level language, but not so easy as compared to high level languages. In high level languages we were using the English language, which is more understandable by the user or the programmer, so in which we are just using our language to understand what is going on in the program. Then it would be translated using the compiler or interpreter in the object code. Once we are writing in the editor, editor is some kind of software we are saying, or the application in which we are used to write our programs. It is our source code, then it would be translated by the compiler or interpreter into object code, that is machine understandable code, which is executed by the machine. So that's why we need here compiler or interpreter to translate it. So these kinds of instructions we are just passing with the programs to create programming code to execute, and then after we are getting our desired result. So this is our coding phase. All these phenomena we are including in the coding phase related to the programs with the programming languages. Each programming language has its own syntax or semantics, so programmer has to decide which kind of language he or she wants to prefer. So it based on the benefits, or you can say the plus or minus points of the programming language as desired for the program problem solving purpose. So now the next phase is testing and debugging. Testing mainly is a process where we have to just check our code, is it correct or not, is it applicable or not, whether we found any kind of error in unit or in block or in the whole system which we are creating, the whole software. So these kinds of testing we are performing on the basis of requirement of the program or the problem we are discussing over there. So here are some kinds of testing also: unit testing, in which we are just test single units over there, or we can say a small part of the program we are just to check, to test, where the many test cases we are creating for giving different inputs to get the output, is it correct or not. So this is a case history in which we are just taking the examples of getting the desired output correct or not. So this is a phase of testing. After that testing, debugging must be performed over there. Debugging is the process where the errors must be found and these would be fixed so that our program would be error free and it would run smoothly, and there will not be any kind of confusion or any misunderstanding between the user and the programmer or the customer for which we are creating our programs or softwares. So these are the phases, including basically for solving the problem. These steps are including. After that, there is one more concept that is known as decomposition. Decomposition is what, where we have to just break down our big problem to small units or small sub problems, to the to that level where we have individual problems at a limit to solve that problem very easily. So there may be many levels of these problems. If we have the complex problem, so we have to just divide it in two, then these two parts will be divided into further two parts again and again. So it is a hierarchical structure, or we can say the top to bottom structure, where we have to divide our big problem into small problems where we can solve at this level very easily by the programs. So it is a approach of top to bottom, we can say top to bottom approach, in which where we have to divide our problems into sub problems, or sub problems to sub problems, like in this way. So this is a kind of concept of decomposition. So here are some concepts we are including in this chapter. So this chapter is completed now. I hope so this would be clear to you. Thank you.